Alright guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be taking the bike on the first official ride of owning it, and I did have to technically drive it out here. However, I only rode in mode 2, so this bike has 4 different riding modes. Mode 1 is going to be the most sensitive. That's what I have it set up to right now, so the throttle response is going to be full power. 4 is considered rain mode on this bike, and 2 is kind of, halfway in between. So I've been riding in that mostly, and the bike in the city, level 2 is still super twitchy, so I can't imagine what level 1 is going to be, but I'm going to take you on a little scenic ride today. One of my favorite rides around here to do. I want to show you guys sort of what Leavenworth looks like, and this road definitely shows that. Alright, so it's definitely a lot more responsive. I feel like there's even more, or even less play, I should say, with the throttle response, which is what I'm expecting, but we'll see how this kind of does when I pick the bike up a little bit with some speed. Yeah, you really have to hold on. I'm actually surprised with this seat because it doesn't really tuck your rear end or hug it into the bike that much, but I kind of thought I'd want a different seat, and so far actually it's been okay. I kind of just gripped the tank a little bit with my legs and it's been doing just fine. So yeah, there's a little straight stretch coming right around this corner. I can kind of give it a little bit more on the throttle. So that's definitely a lot more instantaneous. Holy smokes. But yeah, look at this view. So right now we're at the kind of the upper part by Ski Hill in Leavenworth. The views are amazing. This is Ski Hill. They have a little rope tow. This is where I basically started snowboarding. But yeah, you know what? My buddy who has the FC09, he told me that he really just rides in mode 2, which I can totally understand. Mode 1 I think is just a little bit too much for city riding, but out in the country like here, it's not too bad. I definitely am not going to send a first gear pull because the front wheel is just going to want to come up. Thankfully though, with this bike it does have anti-wheelie control, where it'll keep the front tire down, basically just kills the power a bit. So I know if I turn that off, the front wheels are going to want to come up definitely a lot more. So I'm kind of glad this bike has that, so I don't have to worry about it if I don't want to. I'm not super interested in wheeling the bike at all. I just like riding. Enjoying the views, the sounds. I'm just loving this exhaust right now. It sounds really good. So a couple years ago when I first rode my friend's FC09, he has a 2016 version of this, which it's very similar. There's just sort of a little tech upgrade, and this bike does have a little bit more power, but not much. I would say that after riding that bike, comparing it to this one, they do feel very similar. But the quick shifter and a couple other of the small things just sort of makes this bike feel a little bit more reassuring when you're riding it. Also, so these are the stock handlebars that came with the bike. My buddy does have smaller, almost clip-ons, which I've ridden, and they, for me personally, don't feel super stable. I'm not really sure how he rides it. It felt awkward the first time, but these ones feel super comfortable. I don't have any issue with them. I don't plan on getting any different kind of handlebar setups. I'd rather do a couple other things to the bike first, but the exhaust that he had on his was an M4 exhaust, which is absolutely insanely loud. This one, if I put the power down, it definitely goes pretty similar. or is pretty similar in loudness, but overall this bike sounds super crisp. Definitely a really crisp sounding exhaust from a Kropovich, which is something that I like about it actually. It's definitely quieter when you want it to be, and then when I get on it does definitely increase the sound, but I'm a little bit surprised. I guess I wasn't expecting much for some reason with this exhaust system, but it's a beautiful day out again. A little windy out, so I'm gonna watch out for some debris in the roadway, but besides that, temperature's perfect. It's probably gonna be in the 80s in Wenatchee today, but out here it's lower 80s, high 70s, which is nice. So it's interesting with this bike, definitely it likes accelerating into the higher RPM ranges, which is something that I have to get used to from my last bike, because I feel like I'm shifting at about 8,500, and I feel like that's when the power sort of kicks in with this bike. Yeah, it kicks in right after actually 7,500. That's when it really starts to pull on you. So the ride I'm taking on today, this is basically going through all of the pear and apple fields, or orchards as I should call them. This probably has to be, I would say, the most scenic drive you could do in Leavenworth, on a motorcycle at least. High School Road is really nice, but not so nice on a sport bike just because of the road. See, some debris right there. But this road is really nice. However, it does have some really sharp corners that, especially on this bike, I want to be careful about. My last bikes were not fast enough, I would say, to put myself in a dangerous position. This bike is quick enough that definitely need to be careful about not coming into a corner too hot. So this is one of the corners that is super sharp. I think there might be maybe one more. The first bike that I learned on was actually I believe it was a 1987 Honda 200, like an old enduro bike, and I thought that was great. I just rode it around town, just wanted to learn kind of clutching in and just shifting through the gears, but as soon as I started riding other bikes and buying newer bikes, I realized those brakes were absolutely terrible. I always wondered how I've seen videos online of people who were sort of hitting the front brake too hard and flying over the handlebars. And now I understand how that's possible with these. If you accidentally tap the front, it really just wants to stop the bike. Yeah, I mean, look at this. So pretty, so green at this time of the year. Cannot be more grateful to be back at home this summer. And then now we're pretty much kind of rolling into, they have a cool little local bar here that I've actually never been to. I just did turn 21 less than 2 years ago and haven't been out to too many bars since, but definitely you should check this one out, especially I got the bike, so. That's called the Tavern. Apparently they have a good Taco Tuesday. Then there's this really tight bridge. Or not bridge, but underpass. And yeah, that pretty much concludes this little side access road that then takes me back to Highway 2. I think I might turn into the school here. They have a good parking lot. I'm gonna stop right here. Alrighty, yeah, so that basically concludes that ride that I wanted to do today. They'll give you guys a little 360 with the bike. So I bought this used. It's not brand new. This is a 2021 Yamaha Mt-09. Let me actually turn it off. So yeah, this is a 2021 Yamaha Mt-09. Did buy it used. Had, I think, just under 7K miles on it, which is not bad for almost a 3-year-old bike. The guy had a full Krapovich exhaust system that's put on here, which sounds really good. It's definitely a lot better than stock. And then on the back, he did have a really nice little tail tidy there. That's nice. He did aftermarket rear blinkers, and then he did aftermarket front blinkers, which are a lot more kind of low profile. And then he had the exact mirrors that I wanted. These are cool. He actually flipped them upside down, so I don't know why he did this. I would have rather had him tuck under if I wanted to, but ideally I kind of like them flat. And then he has the front little windscreen on this. It's pretty low profile. I believe it's Puig high-tech parts, so Puig front little windscreen there, which is really nice. It's lightly tinted. That really just protects the front LCD screen, and then also does allow some of the wind to kind of come up higher, and it hits me more in my higher chest region, less in my stomach, which is nice. And then this is a small mod he did, which I might maybe change up later. He did sort of turn this into a shorty by just cutting it off, which it feels super nice. You see, put 2 fingers. That's about what I'd want for a shorty clutch lever. But I'm going to do possibly different levers here shortly. But this bike was pretty much set up with a lot of good stuff stock that I really appreciate. It saved me some time and money, because that Krapovich exhaust system is actually pretty expensive. I think they're retailing for just a little bit over $1,000. So definitely nice that that's on the bike. But yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be posting a ton more content with this bike, so I want to go riding every other day as much as I can, post more videos for you guys. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll be posting the next video here shortly.